Hi, this is Bobby Curnow, Chief Turtle Editor at IDW Publishing, and you are listening to the Pullbags TMNT Back Issue Classics with Mike and Joe, Turtle Power.
Welcome to the Pullbags Back Issue Classics. Join us as we talk about comics from yesteryear, from DC, Marvel, and more. So open your ears to hear our discussion of the older continuities, as the back issue classics are also what's in the pull bag.
Hello and welcome to the pull bag. This is yet again another... Oh god, that sucked. Start over. Fuck.
No, you just shouldn't delete that. You should just let the roll in play like that.
Yeah, I should just put a large beep in the middle of it. Take two! Hello and welcome to the pull bag. This is yet again another back issue classics. I am your host, TF Joe and Mike. And this time we're taking the back issue classics back to the sewers. And actually, we're taking it back many years ago as Mr. Joe Reed and I find out the secret history of the Foot Clan. Hello, sir.
Hello.
How are you?
I am well. This is exciting to be looking at these again. I'm continually impressed with these books, and I'm thankful that you have given me the opportunity to go get them out of my back issue boxes and reread them all because, there's so much more in these books.
Oh, yes, there is. I mean, seeds of the future are buried in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But no, yeah, we're here doing another back issue classics. We've gone back to the Turtles earlier this month in July. Wow, in July. That's not till next month. Earlier this month in
July,
June.
Peas grow there. Have you seen
that? Yes, I know. Well, the Orson Welles version is all well and good and fine. I prefer the Brain. Maurice LaMarche is Orson Welles the Brain doing it.
All right, we gotta, just in case our listeners haven't heard this, if in Comic Book the Movie, with Mark Hamill was in that. On you can buy the DVD and it comes with 2 discs. You can basically take the disc that the movie is on and break it in half, because on the second disc is an extraordinary panel and interview with about 10 to 12 of our favorite voice actors from growing up, and Maurice LaMarche does an exquisite Orson Welles warming up his voice impression, and that's where our giggles came from, was remembering that.
Oh no! Well, see, that's the thing. The Brain from Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain. That voice that Maurice does for the Brain is essentially an Orson Welles, not impersonation, but it's Orson Welles inspired.
Yep.
So, all right. Earlier this month, we had several episodes. We had the first back issue classics where Joe and I talked about Krang War and the regular micro series volume 2. We had a really awesome interview with IDW Turtles editor and other, I forget what other. Actually, it's funny. He has some story credits coming up.
Excellent.
As we go through these, yeah.
I'd only just learned who he was before this, and I think I've seen his name on just about everything. I need to go dig it up to double check, but...
Oh yeah, his name is on everything as the editor.
Well, I mean, like Ghostbusters and all that other stuff, I don't know.
I'm not sure about Ghostbusters. I know about the Turtle stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we talked with Bobby Curnow earlier this month. We also... my buddy JT and I went over and got some new animated adventures for Turtle stuff. This has basically been a Turtle month with Batgirl and Nightwing shoved in there for good measure. It's basically what June has been for this year.
Well, we are celebrating their 30th year, so it's okay that we focus on them.
Yes,
the rest of the world is.
Yes, exactly. There's so many 30th anniversaries this year. There really are. You've got Turtles, Transformers, Voltron's 30th anniversary is
really?
This year. 1984.
I thought that was older in Japan before it came here.
Go Lion is older,
Yeah.
but Voltron, the United States, the 5 lions that we grew up with, is 30 years old this year. Surprisingly, a 20-year anniversary is Spider-Man the Animated Series. So yeah, that's what's pretty much going on with us. And as I said earlier, we're going to be doing Secret History of the Foot Clan. We'll be back after this.
Who the heck are you guys?
Perhaps I can best explain. The story of my young friends and I is really the story of a man named Hamato Yoshi. In Japan, there is a ninja clan known as the Foot. Hamato Yoshi was their Shidoshi, teacher of the warrior ways of enlightenment. Yoshi was a quiet man who loved art, but one student sought to usurp his leadership of the Foot clan. Oroku Saki. Then one day, a master sensei, a teacher, visited the Foot school, and Oroku Saki made his move.
Impudent dog! Bow before our beloved master! So, you plot to kill our honorable sensei!
Disgraceful! For this misdeed, you should be banished from the Foot Clan altogether!
What say you, all-wise sensei?
Oh, okay. I say, throw the bomb out!
Alright, we are back in Secret History of the Foot Clan. This takes place right after Krang War, correct?
I do believe.
Now I gotta pull up that reading order.
Well, that's the last. That's the last one we.
Yeah, it was Krang War,
recorded, so
yeah.
You're right.
What was the? What were your initial impressions when you first read this? Did you have any opinion either way? Is this something that you were waiting for them to do, or
No, when the solicitations came out, Comic Shop News, I saw the Secret History of Foot Clan, and whenever a book does a subtitle like that, it's like, okay, this is happening separate from the continuing series. I don't need to pay a lot of attention to it. Of course, because it's a great book, yeah, I'll be buying it and yeah, I'll be reading it, but I assumed it was going to be off to the side and not as important. But oh boy, was I wrong about that. I was not, like, who cares about where the Foot Clan came from was kind of my attitude with that. And I was wrong.
According to the reading order, we will cover this next time when we do City Fall Part 1, but we were supposed to have read Krang, Villain Microseries Krang, before Secret History, but Secret History is basically its own thing.
All right, I think I read that. Yeah, it definitely is its own thing and happens.
Yeah, and
so is Krang,
and so is Krang. I mean, Krang doesn't really set anything up, so we're pretty much fine for when we get to City Fall and all that stuff.
Yeah, we'll pick Krang up then, I guess.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So Secret History of the Foot Clan. The cover on the trade is Shredder, along with the Turtles and
Kitsune.
Tang Shen.
No, that's Kitsune.
Yeah. No, that's Tang Shen, dude.
With the...
I know it's Kitsune, but there are several panels in this that make me think that a few of the things mean that it's Tang Shen. It's supposed to be some sort of evil spirit of Tang Shen or something. But I know what you mean.
She's not dead yet.
Oh yeah, that's true.
In the Secret History of the Foot Clan, that's I will say that that's definitely not her.
So we start out.
That's my vote anyway.
Yeah, no, that's hey. We start out in the U Clan.
And at this point, when I still thought I didn't want to read this book, I'm like, what's the U Clan? Who cares what they are? And then ruled by the daimyo Ashikaga, I'm going, okay, crap, there's Japanese names, and I'm never going to remember who anybody is. I can pronounce them, but I'm not going to remember them. Which was why a second reading totally cleared this up for me, and
Yeah, absolutely. So we start with the U Clan. The art in this is amazing.
And I didn't realize it till you showed me that software. I mean, I read comics. I rarely study the art, but that is attempting. What's that program called?
Yeah, what Joe's talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is I showed him Comixology.com and their guided view technology that they use, how it goes panel by panel, and I blew his mind wide open to the art. So basically, we start with the U Clan, and we get a whole little story here. Enjoying considerable support from the samurai class, Ashikaga was well on his way to becoming a shogun. Instead of ruling Japan, however, he was brutally murdered, and after his death, his entire clan simply vanished. Foot Ninja, vanish now without a trace. I know you really want Tatsu in this, but it's all I can think. It's all I can think of every time I see
vanish.
Ninja vanish. That's all I can think of is Tatsu from the movie. So the story here is that Ashikage sent Tatsu off on a mission to the mountains and kill the thieves. It was, of course, a trap. To kill one man, Ashikaga had sent a legion of warriors. And didn't turn out so well for the warriors.
Not a lot of them, anyway.
No. Because Takeshi Tatsuo was not an ordinary man. He surprised his attackers and flew into battle like a man possessed. So this is basically what we will come to know as Shredder, correct?
Yes. That's a huge... Maybe we should have tagged that. Huge spoiler. I don't know. Do we... we don't know that yet. We don't know who this guy is or why he's important.
Right.
By this legion of troops, he's just completely destroyed. I think they, in fact, leave because they think he's dead. He lost a leg, bleeding profusely, and we see him getting dragged away. And the next page, we see him alive, waking up with more facial hair than he had before, and his leg has grown back. Not the skin yet, apparently, by that last panel. Beautiful panel. But he's surprised to find himself whole, alive.
Yeah, he's become whole once more. This must have been like 6 months or so since that. I don't know how long. I don't know what the time passage is, because it's kind of like when TV shows, if a TV season goes, if the season ends with one character being clean shaven, then season 2 comes back and he's got a full beard, you can tell that the actor hasn't been shaving for all the time that the show's been off the air. But yeah, he's got a bandaged foot with green cuts on it, which is basically he's mutated. Well, he doesn't change into a super being yet. Good old Kevin Nash. But this damaged foot of his is what gives him the symbol and the slogan, and not the slogan, but the symbol and the new direction of the Foot Clan. I just love that little nod that basically the Foot Clan is named after his own damaged
bloody footprint on the bed sheet thing. And I do love this thing. I wouldn't have noticed it without talking to David Peterson at a con a while ago. You can see the artist's fingerprints in how that thumbprint or how that footprint was made on the comic page. That's ink on his thumb to shape that out to make it look more organic. I thought that was a nice touch.
Oh yeah,
you see
absolutely. That? Yeah, that's amazing.
David Peterson uses it for smoke from little mice's pipes. He will smear it with his thumb, and you can see his fingerprint in it.
Oh wow, that's one way of marking your own work.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah, that's pretty awesome. So, after after we get the beginnings of the Foot Clan, we go to present day for the fact that this whole introduction is apparently part of a lecture from some professor. I was really hoping that they would have made him Professor Jordan Perry. Really hoping. That would have been just a nice little nod.
Or, oh man, Jordan Perry should have been not a Chet. Fugitoid?
Honeycutt?
Yeah,
Yep.
that would have been neat. Oh man, that'd have been neat because it'd have changed the movie for me. Like, we know it. I have a feeling, and we're gonna have to find out now that they can't, that IDW can't license from the movies.
Oh,
I wonder because it's New Line. New Line might own all those unique characters.
interesting.
However, Nickelodeon did have Razor in it, so maybe not. Now that I think harder about that.
Yeah. Well, Nickelodeon has no. Well,
Nickelodeon has everything Ninja Turtles, but I don't know.
Do they have the movie rights? Huh. We'll have to look into that, ladies and gentlemen. I honestly don't know, because what's the new movie gonna be?
It's a Nickelodeon flick.
The new live action?
Yep.
So then they must own the movie rights. I mean, if they put Razor in the cartoon.
Yep. Yeah. Well, yeah. It's because the movies, the old movies say Marvel or Mirage licensing, but who knows who gets the credit for creating the unique characters? We'll have to. I'm interested now. Gives me homework. Give us homework. Let's go.
We'll have to look into that. So we get this. We get this professor dude talking about makes for a good story, doesn't it? Ninjas and samurai, deception, betrayal, and revenge, the stuff of legends. But legends are often born out of truth, and looking for that truth can lead you to places you didn't expect, like hidden temples. All I can think of is that old Nick at Night game show, Legend of the
Hidden Temple. Olmec, the big talking rock. God. I remember that.
So
come, children, crawl around inside my temple.
Yes, exactly. So Dr. Miller, we got Casey and April in the audience. So this is supposed to be college, right? I assume.
Yeah, this is probably a on-loan speaker coming to visit the school, and the Ninja Turtles have sneaked. What's the past tense of that?
Snuck. It's snuck.
Okay, their way in and are hiding in the rafters, listening to the whole thing.
See, but that's the one problem I have with this whole thing, is that panel of them looking over where Mikey's like, dude, Mikey, shh, I want to hear this. It looks like it doesn't look like they're in like the rafters of the ceiling of the place, because it doesn't look high up enough. It looks like they're sitting in seats, or it really looks like they're. And I'm thinking, if this is a college auditorium for a professor, first of all, how does the professor not see them? Even though it looks like there's giant bright stage lights shining. It's kind of like comedians when the stage lights shine on them so that people can see them on television. That's what it looks like, and I'm like, how can he not see the 4 giant green turtles at the top of the thing? He goes on to talk about the pages of some secret history of the Foot Clan, and he mentions Takeshi Tatsu, and Casey's like, oh, wait, hold on. That's what's the Shredder's name again? Oroko Saki. Are we sure?
Yeah, we're sure. Yeah.
I gotta say, I know you mentioned that the art changes by arcs, and I know this is its own individual arc, but I'm not liking the direction. Don't get me wrong, I like it when different artists work on different things at times, but some consistency would be nice, because this story plus what we're going to do in City Fall and then Northampton and all the micro series, the villain micro series, it's all different. And by the time we get to Northampton, I'm just going to spoil this right now. They look like their heads look like giant green eggs with bandanas. Oh.
That guy, I'm forgetting his name, did an arc earlier, and they looked better. The new Northampton run of his art, it got a little cartoony in the more cartoony My Little Pony, not cartoony Ninja Turtles cartoon, unfortunately. And I think this artist does the Japanese stuff in the past, the flashback scenes, and generally the humans better than I'm not as big a fan of the Ninja Turtles, and each of them with their unique mask. They're torn in a certain way to differentiate them. I'm not a fan of that. But
well, like the panel right here where the professor's talking about, it's not outside the realm of possibility that Tetsuo formed the Foot Clan from the remnants of the Yu Clan. That panel right there where it has all four of them, and you're talking about the different, Leo's is kind of like inverted, like his brows are furrowed, like he's scowling at something, and Donnie's kind of looks like he's inquisitive. Mikey looks like his eyes are going to bust out of his shell, and Raph just looks like he wants to beat the hell out of somebody, like he always does. But I mean,
they always look like that because of the shape of the mask, and I don't know.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, Raph's facial expression, because he always does look like he wants to beat the little crap out of people. But just the way the bandanas are done, like, don't give the turtles mouths expressions like they're doing here. Like Leo's like, shh, and Mikey's like, ooh, where's the pizza? It's like, give their faces expressions. Don't make the bandanas a part of their eyes, because while it is a part of their headgear, the bandana shouldn't. Leo's is the most offensive to me, and I don't mean offensive like, oh my god, I'm being a whiny little bitch about it, but it should never bend like that. The dude doesn't have a nose.
And the shapes underneath Raph's eyes, again, that's my second most offensive one out of all of them. But when I say that, it's just by the fourth page I ignore it.
Oh,
I just kind of accept it.
Yeah. So we get more of the story from the professor, and we see this little kid running. And the guy that he ran into says, you should always pay as much attention to where you run as to what you run from, boy. Now go. Now go before I change my mind. Now, is that supposed to be Takeshi?
No, I think we flashed forward, and that's Hamato Yoshi.
Oh, right, but what I'm asking is the guy that he ran into.
No, the little kid ran into Hamato Yoshi.
Oh, okay.
That's why he's doing kind of the kind and understanding thing, and that this is repulsive, Matsuo. They are these people are not a threat to our objective, and slaughtering them is a dishonor, because he might have an anger issue, but he's a decent guy.
No, that's Oroko Maji. That's who that was.
Oh, you're right. That's right.
Yeah, I looked at the next panel where he says his name.
And so, okay.
No, that's not Hamato Yoshi. It couldn't be Hamato Yoshi.
He's not around yet.
Yeah, he's not around. The boy might be Hamato Yoshi. I could see the boy being Hamato Yoshi, but okay, yeah, that's Magi.
Yeah, and when we see Oroko Maji and see Oroko's name, we go, oh wait, now this guy. He's a nice guy, but he's connected to the Shredder's name. How do we rectify this? What's this going on? I mean, for what we could have guessed this story was about, it takes a totally different direction. And here, we have this guy who we don't know, who's an evil douchebag who gets brought back to life and regrows a foot. And then we have somebody who is very closely related to Oroko Saki, somehow just in the name here, who is being a benevolent guy. Like, where are they going with this? For a story that's been told for 30 years now, it's surprising us. It's taking us a different place.
Exactly, and that's a good thing, because this threw me a little while, because in order to prep for the interview we did earlier this month, I read everything, starting with this, all the way up to issue 33. I've read everything, so I'm like caught up to present day. But when I read this, I'm like, okay, so Takeshi Tatsuo was a real guy. He was himself. And then what happens later, as we'll get to it, is they pull the reincarnation trick again. Not that I mind that, but they basically pull that again. So the village is basic, Oroko Maji is like, we should, like you said, he's being benevolent and we should let these people go. And we've got this fox looking. I'm like, wait a second, Alopex isn't that old.
Yeah, I get them confused occasionally, even though they're completely unrelated. And this one has three tails. And there are a lot of Japanese legends about multi-tailed foxes, 9-tailed foxes and 3-tailed foxes, which is why Tails in Sonic the Hedgehog has 2 tails. It's 2 tails, a significant thing, and I wish it matters how many tails they have. And I'm not familiar enough with the Japanese stuff like that, but I am absolutely sure that this means something, and it means more than what I can pick up. And I need to go, read more books, but I mean like real books, not these picture books.
So we have, this is what happens, Lord Dasuki, when you try to deny a god. You should have simply given the foot these lands without resistance. Perhaps I would have been merciful. And the Lord says, you're not capable of mercy, and you are no god. It was my honor to deny you. And then Kitsune shows up, the demon fox. Why is she wearing Raph's red bandana?
I don't see a bandana.
It's the red piece to the left of her.
Oh. I think that might just be a tuft of hair. Oh. A red tuft. Or a collar of some kind. Hard to see on that previous panel.
So Takeshi says, our business here is done. You may tell your Iron Demon that the lands he so wanted have been acquired. And so Kitsune, to me, and this is just my personal, this is just me reading into it, she's basically the Turtles universe version of Catra from She-Ra, Princess of Power.
Okay, if you know She-Ra, Princess of Power well enough to reference that, I don't know what to say to that. I mean,
Catra was one of Hordak's evil warriors. She had a mask, just like Kitsune does. She puts it on, she turns into a giant cat. Huh. Or in this, Kitsune turns into a fox. So after they, after we see Kitsune and gives the lands to the demon, we again go back to present day, where apparently April and Casey are now dating, and she's saying to Casey that we should talk to talk to the professor. That's right. She wants them to talk to the professor, and the Turtles are in the back saying, yeah, if they don't have the movie rights, seriously, come on now. Anyway, why would Why would Ja even think he's got anything else he could help? He will. God, I hate it when you guys do that. It's kind of like... That's an interview I would love to do. I would love to get Elias Codius at some point. Oh my god, that would be so fun. Well, we're ninjas, dude. It's totally habit. Oh my god, Mikey has become so endearing to me in this series.
Yeah, he is my least favorite turtle because he doesn't... I don't know. He's just the annoying, obnoxious one, but this entire series took him in a different direction. He's the one who has the heart. He's the sunshine. I don't know how to... That's cheesy and terrible. But he's the heart of the team, and it just makes him, like you said, more endearing.
Absolutely. So we run into Dr. Miller. May I have a moment of your time? I'm sorry, young lady, but I'm in a bit of a rush. Then I shall be brief. And we see a more adult Karai, because holy crap, she's wearing heels and almost a very, very short skirt. I don't think I've seen... Is it just me? Have we seen her outside of her dojo uniforms?
I don't think so.
And wow, that's crazy. Karai's kind of hot now. And the way that she's drawn in that panel, she looks like her chest is going to burst out of that shirt. She goes on to say, I represent a private party who shares your interest from the Ashino Himitsu. I hope I said that right.
Yep.
In fact, he has acquired some of the book's pages himself and would very much appreciate your appraisal. So we go back to the church. And we don't see, in the church panel, we don't see which turtle is talking, but he mentions that the professor talked about a witch. And Splinter basically pipes up and says Kitsune. And
how did you know that?
Yeah, how did you know that? My master Masato had told me tales of Kitsune and the decades of darkness the Foot Clan endured while allied with her. Alright, so this is the first real glimpse of Splinter we've had in this.
With Santaluco's art.
Mm-hmm. Does he look like a rat or a dog?
Those ears aren't right. But this is one of my... I prefer this look of Splinter to a lot of the other ones.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The close-up here, when he's talking about the decades of darkness, his bone structure on his face, the way his face is shaped and drawn, he kind of looks like a fat greyhound. Not that I think that we've ever... I don't think there's ever been a fat greyhound, but just the way his head looks. Again, I'm not complaining. It's not as off-putting as some of the other versions of him. I do like it. But he does mention more about Kitsune and her fox-like abilities, and I swear she looks just like Tang Shen. I know she's not Tang Shen, but she looks just like her.
Yeah, it's one of the many reasons I had a hard time with this and would have a hard time with other... It's not just Santaluco's art, but, one Japanese man looks like another Japanese man in these books, and so I didn't know who was who, and I guess, here we go, it's a pale-skinned Japanese woman in a kimono, just like every other Japanese woman in a kimono in this book. It's, you deal with it, I suppose, or read it 3 times and figure it out at the end, like I did, because now I got it. Now I think I'm down.
So we get, after we see Kitsune and Splinter's explanation, we get, it happens once each month, brothers, and always during the full moon. Lord Takeshi locks himself away while the witch travels west with an empty satchel. 2 days later, she returns with it full, and only then does he emerge. I wonder why. It is the way of her magic, it must be. She's bringing him power from the demon she serves. So basically all these guys are wanting to overthrow him. They think because he is old now and tired, and they want to basically overthrow him before she gives him this power potion.
And I think, yeah, there's the moral questions that they don't like the direction that the Yu clan, now the Foot clan, is taking. That we had the Oroko Maji, who was, I think he's kind of leading this group of people saying, there's something magical going on. We're not okay with magic. I don't like burning these cities down. Maybe we should go interrupt this thing that she's doing.
Yeah, it's kind of like, maybe we should hire Godzilla to kill him. Oh, Lord. So we have Takeshi saying, I'm tired of submitting to the will of your demon in order to prolong my life. Servitude is too great a price to pay for immortality. And as he's drinking this, he immediately grows younger. So basically this green goop is the 16th century just for men.
The thing that I should have noticed while reading this the first time, but did not notice until this time, is it's green and it's glowing just like the turtle's mutagen and some of the other instances of ooze occurring, like the stuff that the Utroms float in is green and glowing.
That leads you to believe the Iron Demon is
somebody.
Yeah, well, I think we'll get to that in this at some point. He says, there must be something permanent that can be done. I refuse to go on like this. Go ahead. You gonna say something?
I refuse to go on like this. There is a moment of hesitation with this Tetsuo guy. He's living immortally. He wants this power, but he doesn't want to do it this way anymore. And I almost wonder if in 25, 35 issues, something like this is going to be a way out for some of our other characters, that, they're restoring themselves, but, I don't know. It's kind of it might just be a throwaway line, but Kitsune's doing something to him, and he doesn't exactly want it done anymore. He doesn't sound like somebody who wants to hold on to this power. I know he wants to make it permanent, but...
Yeah, he wants to hold on to the power and make it permanent without having to deal with the Iron Giant.
Yeah.
Because this Iron Giant that we'll come into later is no Superman.
Tree.
We will find a better way, my lord, I swear it. Magi had witnessed the secret to Takeshi's power and formed a strategy, a surprise attack. The following month, before Tatsuo could complete his transformation, they attacked. And if it wasn't, I swear, if it wasn't for the fact that Tatsuo is a Japanese man, and he had his hair in his little the little Japanese ponytail thing, I would have sworn that's old Ben Kenobi.
Old Ben Kenobi can whip out a samurai sword over a lightsaber, and I'd be okay with that.
The potion, no, you will pay for this treachery, Oroko Maji. So we get you will all pay. We get Takeshi and Kitsune in her fox form. So we get this giant battle. We get these words. You know nothing, boy. All I do for the glory of the Foot Clan. I love the panel where the two of them are sword to sword.
Yeah.
So amazing.
That probably looks really good in your Magic comic viewer that makes it big. Because it's like 1 inch wide in my book.
Oh, really? Yep. Yeah, on the single page it doesn't look as as cool. Neither on the double page. The in the guided view, it's because it goes, like I said, panel by panel. It takes up. It's just that image, full and up close, without having to like do some weird zoom technology, and it looks so great. So we get to, they say, glory of the Foot Clan. Glory is not the most important thing, Lord Takeshi. Those of us with but one lifetime already know this. Honor is what truly matters. It is all we have that is ours. And then Takeshi, once again, that the guided view technology, you can really see the lines in his face. I mean, dude, it's so amazing. And Magi says, "In your way has dishonored us all enough." And Kitsune says, "You do not know what you have done, Oroko Magi. I restored honor to the Foot Clan witch and killed a man who should have been dead long ago. Honor? No, you have brought disgrace to our house, and mark my words, boy, Takeshi Tetsuo will be avenged." And she goes jumping off, looking like a 7-legged crab. It looks... I don't know. She's supposed to be jumping out of the window, right?
Yeah, onto a roof.
See, it looks like she's... Okay, yeah, she's supposed to be climbing up. Even here in the zoomed-in image, it just looks weird.
Very important line here. Your own house will be the death of you.
Mm-hmm.
As she curses, running away.
So we go back to Turtles and Casey and April and Splinter, and Splinter says, "From there, Masters Magi and Masato set the Foot Clan on a path of honor, a path I was proud to walk with them. It still mystifies me that Magi's own son would be the one to turn the clan back to the dark days of its founder. Hey, maybe the kid got zapped by some of that black magic the professor dude was talking about. Oh, come on. There's got to be a better explanation than magic."
Yeah, because magic can turn some chick into a giant fox, but it could never make anybody turn evil or nothing.
Well, I don't mind that line coming from Donnie. That's who it comes from, because Donnie is always the skeptic. He wants a scientific proof. But yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
Yeah, we can't. I don't want to spoil this yet, but yeah, Donnie's always, despite the fact that they're mutated turtles, and by this point he's pretty sure everybody's reincarnated, he still wants that concrete thing. He's still not willing to accept magic. I think he's got to, until it's the... What's Occam's razor? The most likely answer is probably the right one, and so he has to eliminate everything else before he'll believe that.
Exactly.
That's who Donnie is.
Yeah, and we love him for it.
Uh-huh.
So April wants to go back to see Dr. Miller and see what else he has on the Foot Clan, and Casey's got a bad gut feeling about this. He's not too thrilled that she wants to go back, and Leo wants to go. Donnie's like, "You have fun with that, Leo. I have a little project of my own to keep me busy." And poor Mikey in the background. Yeah, I'm kind of wiped with all this history stuff. What I love about this image, though, it only shows the 3 out of the 4 turtles and Splinter in what I just read about Mikey. And then we cut to the panel where it's Casey and Raph, and Casey's like, "Dude, am I crazy?" And Raph just tells him, "No, you gotta trust your gut." So we go to Dr. Miller's apartment, and he's debating on whether he has a choice or not, whether he should trust Karai. Now, I don't know how close up in the book it is on her business card.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, why does the ninja lady have a business card? Second of all, Oroko Karai is her name?
Yep.
It's like, seriously?
Yeah, she's in the family.
I know she's in the family, but why would her... So if Karai is her last name and everybody calls her Karai, why would her first name be...
In Japan, the surname comes first, and then the person's name comes after that.
Okay.
So Oroko is the family name, and Karai is her name.
Okay.
So in a dojo, she would be called Sensei Oroku, but informally she would be called Karai, and she'd probably be called Karai whenever Shredder's in the room, because he would then be the Oroku who you'd name.
Yeah.
And I think they have a business card because he does. Well, the Oroko family has a legitimate business front, and it's Karai's kind of corrupting that, and we find out later what her complete role in the corruption of the family name is. But I don't think we find that out in this story. We find that out later. Yeah, later, in Karai's one shot, which I don't think we've read yet. But
well, I've read everything. We haven't covered it yet. We won't cover it until I think either City Fall Part 1 or Part 2, I forget. So Dr. Miller is still kind of stressing. We go to the Foot Clan compound, and Shredder basically this is really the first time we've seen present-day Shredder in this entire story to this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we already saw Karai. He says, "You are questioning my judgment," and she goes, "I have delivered the mutation, the invitation, master, but I do not see why you allow this man to live. His research could expose us." And then he asks her, "Do you question his judgment?" And she says, "No." Because Shredder basically wants to use this guy. And Alopex, who... Okay, I know Kitsune and Alopex are not related. I know Alopex used to be an actual fox before she got mutated. But read between the lines, people. Takeshi had a fox in Kitsune, and now Oroko Saki has Alopex. It's like shades of the past coming to the present.
He has a thing for foxes.
Shredder's a hound dog. Alopex doesn't understand what he's talking about. He says, "Power, Alopex. I am looking for a power the Foot Clan should never have lost. And may his gods help the man that he cannot find it for me." So we then go to Kitsune.
Oh, I like the way that the panels are drawn differently in the flashbacks. They're rougher, look like brush strokes instead of
digital,
precisely drawn computer lines. That's kind of neat.
Yep. And she says to her green tentacle master. I know it's not really, it's green smoke here, but the Foot Clan has been usurped, and I must prepare. I am to exact my revenge. I cannot provide you with what you require at this time, but I swear our agreement will be honored. And we have a giant Krangbot saying, "I'm listening." This is the Iron Demon.
Which blew my mind.
Yeah.
And what I need to know, okay, this is 16th, 15th century Japan. Is this Krang, or is it just another Utram?
Or is it Krang's father?
And, it's in a bot that looks, it's derived from the 80s cartoon version of Krang's body with the little fork on the head and the purple eyeglasses. But, we're not sure who this is, and I don't think we ever find out who this is.
Not yet.
But the beautiful thing about this is that it's tying everything together, like this book does
absolutely.
so incredibly well. Shredder's been drinking not the mutation ooze, but the healing ooze, because there's apparently different kinds. And this also says here, okay, in 15th century Japan, apparently it's this. I would have to guess it's as many years have passed in wherever Utram or Neutrino is, where these wars are going on. That army that disappeared, the whole clan that disappeared in the beginning of the book, I think went to the armies on their planet, and that they were using the samurais and the ninjas to fight their battles for them.
Wow, that's interesting. Holy crap, I did not even expect that kind of explanation, but that could be,
I think that's what she's trying to do for him, is provide him with an army.
Provide him with troops, yeah.
Because what's Krang always doing? He's getting stone soldiers to do his fighting for him. He's getting other people to, that's just what the Utrams do.
Right, but what if all of the U clan that disappeared, what if they became stone soldiers?
They might have at some point. Well, in the beginning of the series, the stone soldiers are humans who have been receiving a rock serum that Baxter developed.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
It might have been in like an earlier version of it.
Yeah. All right, so all of this, ladies and gentlemen, what we've just talked about is just the first chapter. It's just the first. Like, how did they fit so much into one chapter? Because I was like, wait a second, this can't be. And then I switched to the next panel, and it says 2 at the top. I'm like, seriously, we're only into the first. We're only just getting out of the first issue of this 4-issue miniseries. The art. Is it because they're outside, or is it just me, or is the art for current day city changed? Was it a different artist in this issue?
Nope. Still Santaluco. Okay,
because April and Casey and even the Turtles. Well, Raph still has that spider-looking mask on his thing coming down his eye as part of his bandana, but April looks different in this. Casey looks the same. Casey looks like he's actually put on a little weight.
He's just slouching.
I know, but it looks like he's got a turkey gut from Thanksgiving. So we basically have them, okay, what exactly are we going to ask the professor? Casey, you don't have to come. I'm a team player, April, Guys, look, isn't that Dr. Miller? That's him. He's talking to someone. The way she moves, it looks like... And we see this giant... It's Karai! And, and he's looking pretty friendly with her, too. I knew my gut was onto something. Look at Casey's eyes. Oh, my God. Look at all... Casey, Leo, and Raph's eyes. Oh, my God. That is some of the worst eye bulging I've ever seen. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. And Joe, I don't generally make negative comments about the art, but oh my God, the eyes on the 3 of them look so weird. So they don't want to get discovered, so they follow them, and I still cannot get over that they're using April's van from the original movie.
She's had that van since issue 3
I
of
know.
the comic. It's great.
Yeah, no, I know. It's so great.
I mean, issue 3 of 1985. She's had that van.
Oh,
all the way back. Yeah.
Okay.
It's the issue 3, I think, has it's the car chase episode or car chase issue of the Mirage book. And the Turtles and April are in the van and driving through a big car chase scene. It's phenomenal. Again, that they're pulling from that bit of history. It's probably her dad's van, I would imagine, by this point. But,
probably. Most
but
likely.
still very cool.
Well, like I said it like for me, it's the first time I ever saw it was the movie. So
And I think it's the origin for the original Turtle Van. I think the Turtle Van is always from the '80s cartoon, always meant to be a modified Volkswagen bus.
yeah, oh, absolutely, yeah. So they're gonna follow Karai, and so we get to the inside of this limo, and Karai's not looking too happy. And the professor's trying to joke. He's like, "So are all these men here for me? I'm just a professor, not a master spy." Um, he looks up. He looks up to one of them tougher, Dr. Miller. "We require your expertise, not your humor. Let us continue this ride in silence."
I wonder if this is the beginning of Karai realizing that she's not as important as she wants to be in the organization, that he's having her go fetch other people all the time.
Yeah,
which begins to repeat itself in
this. Yeah,
City at War.
City
Fall. Yeah, man, subtitles.
But yeah, this would most likely be the beginning, and I absolutely love in this comic how they not just this one specifically, but the entire series, how they don't actually show the Japanese or the foreign language. They just put it in little parentheses to have us as the readers obviously get what she's saying without and I mean everybody knows hi. I mean, the driver says hi to her as far as him understanding, and April won't lose them, and they get into this mad chase. Karai and her other ones are like, prepare for battle, and the person's like, who are you people?
Like I think he should have figured it out by then.
Yeah. You think he would have figured it out when the giant ninjas jump out of the sunroof of the limo and onto the van, and Casey's like, "Incoming!" Yeah, Case, we ain't blind. I love Raph. I love Raph. I love all four of the turtles in this series. This is so good. So we have a giant car van chase battle scene. And the turtles fighting on top of vans and cars, and wow,
some beautiful drawings in this.
The panel part where Raph lands in front of the van and Leo's still on top of it, and the foot soldiers are falling. It's so awesome. The way that is it Santaluco?
Yep.
The way that he has drawn Raphael and the way the colors on Raph, he almost reminds me of movie Raph in that image. It's the top of the page before Karai attacks them. The middle panel there. It's absolutely amazing. Really, really is. Raph's like, well, look who it is, lowly beast. Oh, you're gonna hurt my feelings talking like that. And she goes, perhaps I should hurt something else. And so Donnie has created. This isn't said here, but it's only because I've already read this that I know this. Donnie has created this trackable throwing star, and Raph tries to throw it. And he basically hits the professor's briefcase with it. I was not expecting Karai to pull out a bow and arrow, though.
I love that. I love the panels, especially the one where she's aiming.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's like, I'm going to win the archery contest and get a kiss from Maid Marian. Oh, wait. Whoops. Wrong continuity. So she basically shoots an arrow into the tire, and that's got to be the best looking flat tire I've ever seen. I don't know how the van comes back, honestly. I mean, this van is... I don't know how Gackface and Hosebrain are going to fix this, honestly. Are you okay? Are you two okay? We have to. You guys get after him. I'll check April out. You'll what now? Yeah.
I didn't catch that line before.
All I can think of is, all right, April. All right, Casey.
9.95. I don't think that's the first time we've said those lines, actually.
No, it isn't. We've said them before.
Sorry, listeners.
It's all right. They're good lines. Oh, just wait till next year, because comic Terrys are coming to the pull bag next year in 2015. So because of this throwing star thingamajig that landed in the professor's briefcase, we have Raph using what the back of it looks like a makeshift transistor radio, and the front looks like a giant iPad or Android tablet.
The only thing that would have made that better is if that were Google Earth.
And we planted a tracker on them, and so we go to the next panel. Here on the Comixology guided view, it shows like the thing stuck right into the briefcase where the professor says, I don't understand. Why did you bring me here? What do you really want from me? Now, Karai is fairly intelligent. She's not, she's no generic, no-name foot soldier that can just, explode at a random, well, she might explode, but that's a completely different comic. It's much fan fiction right there. But how does she not notice the green glowing coming out of the guy's case? Like, his case is right by his foot, and she's looking right at him. It's not like it's directly on. Well, I guess from her angle, it might be under the desk. But like from where we're looking at it, it's like, why doesn't anybody see this thing? Now, why does Shredder say this? Welcome, Miller Sensei?
Sensei is a word you use for one who has come before. And so it's if you know more than somebody else, or if somebody else knows more than you, they would be sensei to you. And so he's giving him that sign of respect because he knows about that book, and he's figured things out that even Shredder hasn't figured out from what he has.
Even though usually in the light of day or the light of battle, when Shredder's overall design is shown to be, a giant Snuggie over his blue and black outfit. Even though I don't like it usually when he's in the light, when he's in the shadows, this looks amazing. Mm-hmm. It really, really does.
I'm $200 away from having a tool in the garage where I can make steel armor. And looking at the way that the gauntlets and the shoulder pads are drawn in this, I really want to make a set. I really do. And the helmet, I'd have to think about that, figure that out. That's a slightly different job, but...
I was going to say, then I guess you and your wife and your son are going to be having a bunch of picnics with a whole bunch of coleslaw, right?
Shred.
Now, the helmet is something really weird, because the helmet on the faraway shot where he says, welcome, Miller Sensei, it looks cool. It looks cool in the darkness, and then we have the whole thing about him apologizing for the stress that, he was put, that Miller was put under, and Karai shows him a giant briefcase of money, like, all ninjas do. We get to the next panel here where Shredder says, you've simply found what you've been looking for, Doctor. This panel here, it might just be me, but I swear Santaluco was going for the Super Shredder helmet from, not the actual the redesign regular Shredder in Turtles 2. Because it looks it's more jagged in this close-up. It's I'm trying to think in your terms.
It's got the saw blade. Well, the second one had the saw blades that he sharpened on the grinder in the junkyard.
Right. It's the top of that page before he goes to we are the... Before he comes out of the shadows, it looks like a little bit like the saw blade. It's not directly the saw blade. And Shredder says, "We are the Foot Clan," and the rest like impossible. And see, in the light, it just take the Snuggie off, Shredder. Seriously, take it off. You don't need to be wearing a Snuggie in the middle of the damn day. It just looks so. It'd be different if the red thing on his, where he's saying, "We have been following your work, Doctor. You have found things that have been lost, even to us." His face looks fine. His helmet, his face mask, all that looks fine. His shoulder shears look fine. It's just the damn red.
You want him to have less of that.
I want it
cloak.
to be more of a,
and less of a turtleneck.
Yeah, I want it to be more of a cloak and less of a turtleneck. And it really, it's. See, the problem I have with it looks like he's wearing a
quilt.
Yeah, you could go that route. I was gonna say it looks like he stole the lady in the red dress's dress and he put his head through her arm sleeve. Is what it looks like. And then it constantly changes because in the next panel it looks like there's more of it. Oh my! I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I don't mean to bitch about this red thing that Shredder's wearing, but it's one thing that bugs me about this entire series. Why can't we just have a cloak that is on the back of him that is kind of like what the movie was, that kind of folds down past to reveal his shoulder shredders is the best term I can use for them. So they talk about this book, and then we go back to, I would assume this is feudal Japan still.
Yep.
I don't, 15th, 16th century, whichever. When I think of feudal Japan, all I can think about is that stupid daimyo in the third movie.
I need to watch that movie again. I'm scared of that and the second one. I don't like watching.
You need to wait. You really need to wait because I have plans for us to do commentaries on those.
Oh, that'd be cool. At this flashback here, this is where I really got lost the first time through the book and needed to come back for this second time through to figure out what was going on. So we see the outside of the temple, and a speech balloon says, "Now, young Saki," and we pan in to see the very Buddhist thing to do when there's a small child and they need to test if he's reincarnated. A bunch of objects laid out on the table. Which of these belongs to you? And so Oroko Maji's son, Saki, is looking at this. This is mine, this is mine. And then he picks up that Foot Clan book and says, "And I wrote this." And I didn't know who this was or what the significance of this scene was, but, reading it a second time, Kitsune jumps out the window and says, "Your house will be your own downfall." And now his son, Oroko Saki, who we know who he becomes, ends up picking a bunch of Takeshi Tetsuo's old things. So Oroko Saki is a reincarnation of the guy who had his foot cut off and regrew it and was taking that immortality serum and who really jacked up the Foot Clan. Here he's an innocent child of the benevolent Oroko Maji. And I totally missed that the first time.
No, I got it.
Good for you.
You must have been like speed reading through this the first time, because I
do
totally
really bad at this kind of thing. Movies are just as bad for me.
I got it. But what I don't get is how whoever Maji's wife or whatever 15th century hooker he picked up, how is this kid the reincarnation of Takeshi? Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, how did the spirit of Takeshi impregnate Maji's lover or whatever? I don't get the logistics of it. I'm basically pulling a Donatello here. I can believe in the magic. I can believe in the fact that this is a reincarnated version of Takeshi. I just don't get the physicality of it all.
Well, his wife, he must have had this kid after he murdered the old Takeshi Tetsuo. and it's a part of the curse that that Kitsune put on Maji after he killed Tetsuo, and so that's where, or that's the why it happened. Is, you know, the beautiful thing about having the Krang show up or having some Utram show up at the end of that issue is it's giving science to why that dude was drinking the potion to make him immortal. It makes technological sense, but there's still magic in the way that these people are being reincarnated, and whatever Kitsune is, because we haven't had that answered yet. There's still magic and weird things that happen.
Yeah. And Magi even says, you know, the witch's curse has borne fruit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in his own son. And he vows to make his son, you know, better. You know, time will tell of what kind of man your son will become. And not a very good one. Not a very good one. And now here we see adult Yoshi and adult Shen.
Yay!
I still think that's... I know it's not, but there's this scene and then there's another scene later, like much later, where Leonardo sees what I assume is Kitsune and Shen. I swear, there's another panel further down when we get into City Fall. Not trying to really spoil City Fall for anybody, but there's a further panel when Leo is doing his soul searching between being, because we already know that Shredder wants to make him his Chunin or Chownin or whatever, how the hell you say that word. There's a panel where you see Kitsune and Shen side by side, and I swear it's the exact same damn design. They're just wearing different clothes.
I'll have to see that when I get to that point. I'm flashing ahead here. Kudos to the series again. When Leo's doing his soul searching, his mom is a big part of that. And I really like that they're making both of the Turtles' parents important. Both of those, both Hamato Yoshi and Tang Shen.
Absolutely. So we see an adult Oroku Saki as well. And he's talking about Oshi's guards were almost a challenge. Still, the contract could hardly have been completed without my involvement. And Shen says, I'm surprised he hasn't taken credit for the entire mission. I do wish you'd correct him, Yoshi. I would, my love, but I find that I prefer his boasting to his attempts at conversation. And he says, Yoshi says, I must speak with Master Masato. I will return in a moment. And Saki comes up to her, and this is kind of hints that it's hinted at, and it's very quickly kicked aside. It's like punching somebody in the gut, that they don't even pay that much attention to this. But this is kind of paying homage to the cartoon side of the story about, or not the cartoon, the movie side of the story, where they say that they fought for the love of a woman and blah 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 blah, and Saki comes up to her and basically tries to put his hand around her waist and says, "Has Yoshi left you all alone?" And she basically backhands him.
What did the five fingers say to the face?
Yep. Yoshi comes up, and this scene here reminds me, he grabs Saki's hand and throws him down. This scene here if Yoshi's it's not a kimono they're wearing, is it?
Yep, they're kimonos.
Okay. If Yoshi's kimono was a little bit more red, it would look just like part of the scene in the cartoon series. And Saki says, "You have made a mistake, Hamato Yoshi." And then the master comes in. This is not the time for a fight. It's a time to celebrate, and for more than just one reason. Yoshi, walk your lovely wife home, and then join us at the castle. Saki, come with me.
Throw the bomb out.
I was waiting for that line. But they wouldn't do that. It's a cheesy line.
It's still funny though. And Saki is, you can tell Saki is not a full-grown adult here, but he started it. You must have more patience if you ever expect to lead my son, and far more respect. But, masters, you requested my presence. Ah, Hamato Yoshi, yes. First, allow me to offer my congratulations. I hear you are to be a father soon. But that was not why I summoned you. Oshi's assassination was an important contract and a dangerous mission, but it was also a trial. The council has met and agreed it is time to increase your responsibilities within the clan. Tomorrow you will both become our newest Chunins. What? Him? I almost felt like he should say, "What, him? A filthy rat?"
No, that would have been an acceptable line. I think that would have been neat.
And the really, really sad thing is, as soon as I saw this panel about Saki saying, "What, him?" I'm flashing to, and I know I shouldn't flash to this, but Rise of Cobra, when Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes are in that constant battle as children. Anyway. And Maji's like, "Oroko Saki, wait, Maji, if they are to lead one day, they must learn to work together now. Yoshi, go talk with Saki, and do not let this be the time you fail to control your own temper." That's a nice line.
Yep, that too. And I appreciate this scene here where they sit and have this normal conversation about what's going to go on in the future. It's almost giving them an opportunity to be friends, to be equals, and not trying to kill each other, which they try to do for several lifetimes afterward.
So if Yoshi's surname is Hamato,
yep,
Masato is not his father, right?
No, Masato. No, that's just the head of the Foot Clan.
Now.
That's
the old. That's throw the bum out.
Yep.
Okay,
and that was Yoshi's master, apparently, or
right,
whatever they call him. But the surname thing. There is one of the in the 2000 something cartoon when the Battle Nexus starts and Splinter goes to the Battle Nexus. There's a point in that where he introduces himself as Hamato Splinter, because he's a rat in that. He's not Hamato Yoshi in that one. So he took his family's name, but his individual name is the kind of thing. And that was a really nice thing that they did. I think very Japanese.
I'm surprised I know this shadow is in these upcoming panels. I know the shadow is too far away. I'm really surprised an animal shadow isn't in the water as they're talking, because on that next panel here, I recognize your anger and I do not envy you. Envy the struggle, you will have to conquer it. In the background right there, there's a fox, and it's not Alopex. And then you go to the next part of the panel where Saki says, "Perhaps my destiny is not what I have always believed after all." In the background, it's Kitsune.
Dun dun dun.
I do like them talking though here, Yoshi and Saki. I do like that. I think that's interesting. We then go to, Yoshi says, "Perhaps meditation will help you find your way. It has helped me find mine." And he goes to meditate, and we see some gang members have spray painted the wall, "Oroko Saki, Tatsu Takeshi." And we see a fox basically come up to Saki. "You will find your legacy hidden in the floor." In the floor? And again, this is the reason why I keep thinking that Shen and Kitsune are the same person, even though I know they're not, is because, number one, they look so alike, but now they're in the same timeline, because Kitsune is here and now with what's going on with Yoshi and Saki.
And she hasn't aged at all.
That's exactly why I keep thinking it's that, yeah. So Saki finds his destiny in the floor. And then we go to Turtles changing tires. I really was hoping it would be Mikey trying to change it, even though I knew it was going to be Donnie.
Oh, and they're still tracking the Ninja Star here, and I'm proud to see the continuity holding up here, that it still looks like a transistor radio from the back, but an iPad from the front.
Yep, exactly. And I love... you guys do know you could have done this before we got here. You had plenty of time. Sure, we could have, except Donatello does machines. Are you ever going to let me live that screen name down? I'm thinking no. I love the way these guys interact with each other.
Yeah, this is well lit. And I think the Santaluco's writing and drawing, and I think what he does with the Turtles is really good.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And again, it's a continuity nod, because it goes back to the Donatello one-shot.
And the theme song to the 80s cartoon.
Yep. So Mikey's trying to take credit for stuff that he didn't do. He asks, "So what's the deal with the professor dude?" And Leo says the Foot took him. He's either working with them or he's onto something valuable. So Case, and this is funny because have we gotten to the point where? No, we haven't gotten to the point where Casey and April talk about their future. Okay, that's way down the line. But I do love Casey kind of uses respect but doesn't disrespect Master Splinter. He says, "So what's the plan, Coach?"
And so with the them breaking into what is essentially the Foot compound here, I am so excited and happy to see a proactive Splinter. Mm-hmm. While I like the Splinter who sits in the chair and meditates and doesn't go out, I like to see when things are so bad he actually goes out with them, and not only does he go out, but as they break into the Foot compound, he just begins kicking royal butt everywhere because he's Splinter and he can do that.
I'm reminded of the cartoon series. You can get through that? Oh, we rats can burrow through anything.
Gosh, I don't remember that part.
That's when they're looking for the Technodrome, and they come up against the giant wall, and the turtles have to go topside to find April. I'll remind you somehow at some point. Casey's like, maybe you should, because we're in the they're in the. I assume they're in an elevator. Maybe you should have stayed in the van. Maybe you should have too. Well, somebody's got to try to get the prof out of here while the guys deal with Arrow Girl, right? Karai. Yep. No, Karai. For some reason, I'm thinking Alopex, but no. And that's why I came. I might not find the hockey. He might not find the hockey mask as charming as I do. And then the elevator opens. Ding! Oh, nuts. Poor Mikey. He just can't get a break. Trick or treat. That's the best you could come up with? Seriously, you had a whole climb to think of something better. I was going to follow it with Smell My Feet, get it? Because, Mikey, focus.
And again, the banter here is delightfully appropriate.
It's so good.
That bottom panel is lovely as well. Mikey's doing a shell slide between the legs of a foot soldier and whipping his chuck over behind his head, nailing the dude in the nads. Which just seems like a Mikey thing to do.
All I can think of is Donnie, Wheel of
Wheel of
Fortune,
Fortune,
dude.
I guess they're
I
not
guess-
game show fans.
And I thought everybody loved Bad.
Dude, if we ever do a commentary on that movie,
are.
we're not going to commentary it. We're going to just recite it, and it'll be an alternate
Well,
audio track that nobody will ever listen to.
I'm gonna point out all the lines as a 10-year-old I thought that were like going back and listening now, hearing it now. All the lines I got wrong because I used to think that Mikey used to say, "Oh, a foul checker, eh? Not a fellow chucker, a foul checker." And I'm thinking my 34-year-old adult self is thinking, "What the fuck is a foul checker?" It's a guy who checks the foul balls at the baseball.
The Casey Jones-Raph interaction in the woods, I totally misunderstood about 3/4 of those lines, but now that I'm an adult, I get it and can hear it better. I think that it's great being able to go back and I just watched that less than a week ago, I think.
I think we might have to do some sort of preview, maybe for a Christmas episode this year. Some sort of preview of what I'm bringing inside the pull bag next year. Because it's going to be pretty interesting. So we go back to the Professor, Shredder, and Karai, and he says, "This is incredible. There's no telling what I could discover with so much of the manuscript at hand." And Shredder is pleased to hear this, and this is where they finally see the tracker.
What? And of course,
what is this?
It's Shredder. He'd have done it. He'd have been the one.
Yeah, "You're a confident fool. How did you not see this?" And he smacks the hell out of Karai. Oh my god, that had hurt.
At least he used the front side of the hand and not the back side of the hand.
No, because if he used the back side, one of the shredders.
Yeah.
It would have gone right up her nose. Talk about picking your nose. That's what he uses the ones on his hands for, is for picking his nose.
I'd pick my teeth with them. I am so going to make one of those gauntlets. I love the way they're drawn.
"You have given our position away, Master." "What?" "The enemy is here, Master." "Enemy? What enemy?" Oh wait, I missed something. The only one that matters. Oh yeah, no, I didn't miss anything. For a second there, I thought when Shredder destroys the tracker, it looks like a squashed fly a little bit. Even though I know it's a throwing star, but just, I don't know, part of it looks like a squished fly. He calls for Alopex and stand watch over this man, but that's a mutant doctor, a mutant Dr. Miller, and a loyal follower. She'll keep you safe.
As she grabs his neck with the action lines of force there.
Oh, I know it. That's crazy. Now, wait a minute here. I gotta go back and look at... Okay. Now, when he calls Alopex, the colors constantly change on his mask. Here it's gray. She shows up. By the time it gets to a mutant Dr. Miller, it still looks a little gray. And then the next panel, which in Comixology is a super close-up on the line, I shall have to remind them of the natural order of things. Their destiny is to fail. It's a purple mask on his Optimus Prime mouthpiece there. The color constantly changes. And, he says, "Whereas my destiny is to conquer." We have a super giant fight between Turtles, Foot Ninja, Shredder, April, Casey. I mean, they're everywhere. And this is one of the reasons why you need to look at this stuff in Comixology, because it zooms in on whereas my destiny is to conquer. You hit the next panel, it pulls out the same panel to show you the larger image of the bigger battle going on. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
so,
that's That's one of my favorite panels in this entire series.
Yeah.
In fact, I have a collection on my wall of some of my favorite panels from comic books that I've redrawn on comic book artboard. I might need to do a tribute piece to this. I like it. It's fish-eyed. It warps, and I think that it gets more characters on the page, and everybody looks moderately distorted because of that fisheye lens. But it looks so good. I'd like to know if this was drawn this way or if it was drawn normally and then stretched in the computer. Just based on some of the lines, I'd have to guess that this was drawn this way, which would have been an incredible challenge, I think.
Absolutely. Because, I mean, if you look at it, Mikey is essentially bending over. Mikey and Leo are almost shell to shell, but Mikey's more bent over in a squatting position. Raph looks like he's smushed between Splinter, Shredder, and a foot soldier. April looks like April and Casey. Is it? Yeah, that is Casey. April and Casey look like, the police just came up to them. All right, you against the wall now, spread up. And then Leo and Donnie are basically taking the lead, and Donnie is basically whopping the foot ninja up against the side of his head with his stick. And then we go back to the professor here. He opens the book.
That's not the professor.
Oh no, that's not the. You're right.
Yep.
I'm sorry. That's Takeshi, right? That can't be Saki.
It's Saki, yeah. Because the last time we had seen him, your destiny's in the floor. Go open that box.
Oh, that's
and this
right.
is Saki
right.
realizing who he is.
That's right, and that's how issue 2 ends. That's how the second issue ends. Because on mine, it's the next panel after the book it says 3.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. It is Saki because he opens the box and the box is empty. Oh no, that's not him. I'm sorry. That's what's his name? Magi.
Yep. Because the book is gone now.
The book is gone now. Yeah. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. This
is why I didn't get it the first time through.
Yeah, these characters somewhat look all alike. We get to Magi and Masato. I should have hidden it better. I should have. No, Saki has taken the book. He was seen leaving this morning with provisions. Yes, west towards the mountains. If this is the beginning of the witch's curse, it could mean the disaster for the clan. I have already considered this, Masato, and I have taken steps to stop him. And we see Saki, who... I don't know. If there are any listeners that are listening to this show, or listening to this episode, that are horse fanatics, maybe you can tell me this. If you tie a rope to one horse's tail to pull the other horse along and have it attached to his harness, does that really work? Because that just looks weird to me. That doesn't look like it would make the second horse move along with the one that Saki's riding. I don't know. So apparently, Magi's plan is to have Saki ambushed, and he says, "Well, it's true that I have been distracted. Surely you don't think that you could hide your presence from me. I would have expected my father to send better men." So he knew his father was sending these guys.
Cold-blooded.
Yeah. You are only following your master's orders. I respect this, and you are all my clan brothers. So I will give you this one chance to leave. Oh, it looked like somebody cut his eye out. Holy crap.
That was close.
All I can think of is Marty McFly. Why do we always have to cut these things so damn close? We were told not to kill him. No. We were told try not to kill him.
And he's given the scar that we have been able to see through his mask in all of the previous issues.
I don't know. I really have no feeling about that as far as, this continuity goes. I almost wish it was a rat gnawing at his face.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like the end of the world here. It's nice to...
It might actually be the rat in this as well. I think he's going to go for a while with this scar, but first issue, when the ninjas come to break into the lab and April's there and Splinter's out, warns her, they get the CD. That rat does get up there and mangle one of those ninjas. And there was a point in this series where Shredder wasn't wearing his armor when he was attacking Leonardo in the Leonardo one-shot. I am unimpressed. We think that's Shredder saying that. So that when Splinter gnawed on one of those foot soldiers, that could have been how reincarnated Shredder got his scar.
Yeah, because this is Oroko.
Yep.
This is Saki.
This is 15th century Japan, Oroko Saki.
Yeah. Either way, it's fine. So we get to this battle, and Saki basically defeats them all, kills them all. And he says, "Father, you have betrayed me, and indeed, Oroko Saki, your father has betrayed us all." And we see Kitsune again, and then it jumps back to current day, where Leo says, "Okay, everyone attack." We are attacking. Maybe we need a catch, a battle cry, so no one is confused. Something cool and fun to say.
"Mikey, shut up and fight," Leo says. In which Mikey replies, No, I don't like that one. I think that's great.
And that's the beautiful thing about this, because if Nick has the rights to the Turtles, to the majority of the franchise, and then they then license any of those rights out to IDW, then IDW writers can... And really, I don't see why they can't... Maybe they can't use designs from the movies, I don't know. But I don't see why they wouldn't be able to reference the movies and all that stuff, considering Eastman, one of the actual creators of the property, is writing, some of the issues, at least on the actual main ongoing. I don't think Eastman's writing this, but...
The way those rights would work, I'd assume, might be technical in the way that they could reference the movie, give homages to the movie, but they couldn't directly the movie, because then quoting the movie would be doing something to the writers of the film, or they couldn't use a character that was created just for the film, but they might be able to. This scene in particular, and Mikey doing his thing, and then the banter that happened in the van fight, this is all stuff that I could hear them saying with those movie voices. Like, I could hear it happening in there with the movie one voices, and it just being completely appropriate and funny. And
I was really hoping, okay, you purse grabbing punks, I was really hoping for purse grabbing. Okay, punks, let the professor go.
That was a crime, you purse-grabbing pukes.
Cricket? You gotta know what crumpet is to understand cricket.
Yeah, as a 10-year-old boy, I had no idea what was going on. I don't know what a crumpet is. I guess I'm not supposed to understand.
Oh, crap. I'm gonna need a bigger bat. And then Alopex, oh my god. I have to screen cap this for you and put it on Facebook for you, because holy crap. The close-up on that, she looks vicious. I mean, she looks so vicious there.
There is a panel coming. There's a panel coming, I think it's in City Fall, that is beautiful of her, better than this one even. And I can tell just by looking at it and being familiar with dogs that there was some reference shots going in. Nobody made that up. No. Might even be in this issue. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But
guys, help! What took you guys? How about a little credit for noticing that you two snuck away in the middle of the chaotic brawl?
Another beautiful panel. I love how dynamic the art is, the action lines, how the bodies reinforce those action lines.
I can't stop taking screen grabs. I really can't. I mean, we've had 2 panels in a row here, ladies and gentlemen, where it's so good, so good. The only thing I see Donnie as being a little bit sarcastic, but not as sarcastic as this line is that he's saying. I could see that coming more from Raph than Donnie. How about we notice you sneaking away from
I've
the
been
brawl.
drawing Ninja Turtles for 20 years. I have a master's degree in drawing, but I still can't do what this panel is doing. Yeah. I'm getting better, but
and I love Elopex. Focus on the turtles. We can finish the humans later. Like the humans don't even matter. And April and Casey are like, Dr. Miller, come with us.
Apparently they do matter because they're the ones getting away with your dude.
Yep. Yep. So we get to Karai versus Leo. And there are 2 things. I don't think it happened. It happens later. I'll bring one of them up later. Why is it that... has it always been a constant thing with Leo and Karai because they are the swords people? That they always talk about, discipline or undisciplined or unworthy in your form of... What is it about Karai versus Leo that always pits the 2 of them together against each other?
In the Mirage series, when Karai shows up near the end of the run, the last 12 issues is where she's a major player. She's very, very adult and Foot Clan. She's the head of the Foot Clan in Japan, and she comes to New York to get the Foot Clan back into order after what Shredder did to totally wreck it. And so she's a very senior member, and she comes in as almost a friend to the Turtles, to that side, because the Foot Clan isn't all about totally destroying everything. They're about running it from behind the scenes. More like the Yakuza, they don't want to destroy everything. They actually want to make a business out of it, and even if it's an illegitimate business. So when she comes there, the Foot Clan who've destroyed everything, she's trying to take it all back and get it back under control, and so that puts her on the same side as the Turtles. They never really fight, Leo and Karai. Later, Volume 2, Volume 3, they start to kind of work together on the same side, getting things done. Leo goes out on assignments that she gives him. So there's that incarnation of her, and I think the next time I ever saw her myself, I know she had other incarnations, was the CG movie. That was the first time I saw Karai again.
I believe she's in the 2003 series.
There was also, I think she appeared in the cartoon. Yeah. And that's really where I think the rivalry started. There was, I remember reading Laird for a time was posting email responses to the writers of the TV show, giving comments and feedback and his input on it. And I remember reading a scene where they were fighting because that was what they did in that series. There was that rivalry thing. And one of Laird's inserted notes was, Karai wouldn't get a hit in on Leo. They're good, but Leo is always going to be better. This fight right here would not have happened this way. Please rewrite it. And I'm looking at this fight here going, they look really evenly matched, and I even think that Karai is better at this point, that Leo still needs more training. He has not become the consummate swordsman that he is, maybe at the age of 25, at 35. So
I do love this, and it does.
I'm glad to see that rival and watching who is essentially his nemesis. Shredder is Hamato Yoshi's nemesis. Karai is Leo's. They're the equals, the Chunin.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I love Raph. Hey, Leo, I think she likes you. In fact, you two want to go take a walk on the beach or something? It's fine. I'm fighting everybody else anyway.
And I wonder how much a line like that had to do with the Nick cartoon where he did have a crush on her.
Yeah. Your children lack focus, Rat. But they do not lack honor, Orokosaki. They will never betray their father or their clan. I love this image of the two of them because it reminds me so much of the face-off in The Shredder is Splintered, the fifth part of the 87 animated series beginning. It looks so good.
It's the fight that I don't think they'll ever give us. You know, there will always be a reason for them to run away from each other.
Yeah.
And I wonder how much that has to do with them being kind of like friends in the old days. If there is that respect that, you know, they'll always call their people back. I don't know. Because there's definitely hatred between the two of them. Saki killed his wife and Yoshi tried to take everything from him. There's hatred both ways.
Oh, absolutely. So, you know, Saki's response is, my father betrayed me. And he paid for his treachery. I saw to that. And then we go back to Japan, where Kitsune is, preparing his monthly... I want to say injection, but I know that's not... His monthly turtle soup. Because it's green, ladies and gentlemen. Says, you speak in riddles, woman. I speak the truth, and you are impatient in this life as you were in your last. What? Breathe in the smoke, Orokosaki, and meditate. Open your mind. And all will become clear. So, now this is really... This next page here. This giant page here. This is really interesting. How...
Mm-hmm.
It's basically on the guided view for Comixology. I see the full page. It goes top left, bottom left, top right, mid right, and then bottom right, and then it goes to the next. But it's really nice how they do that, and again, it draws your eye. And this is why I love reading comics digitally now. It's so much easier for me. So we see that our story, yours and mine, begins with a powerful demon who found his way into this realm. Now, I did not notice that at first. I noticed the line, but I never noticed the picture of Krang coming out of the dimensional portal in the background. I never noticed that till right now. I mean, I know who she's talking about, obviously, because we had that cliffhanger in the first part of the story, but I never noticed that before. And we see basically Saki's backstory. She says, yes, the warrior was struck down by your father, Orokomaji, but his spirit refused to accept death. It thirsts for vengeance and lives on in me. Yes, Saki, it is your destiny to avenge your past life and retake the Foot Clan. And what of your demon? Does he still exist? He does. What would he ask in return for reclaiming my clan? You think too small, Orokosaki. The real question is, what price are you willing to pay for immortality?
That's kind of sidestepping that question, appealing to his greed and ambition and less to what he actually asked her. I don't know. That's an interesting... Like, why is the Krang back now messing with this? I hope we find that out, because we haven't yet.
No, that's the thing. Even through Northampton, we haven't found it yet. And it's crazy. It's like, I need answers now.
And, you know, we haven't, with our General Krang in the current day has not. He's seen these ninjas going around. He's kind of pissed off at them all, but he hasn't said anything like, "Man, ninjas!" Just like that one time I went to 15th century Japan. So maybe that is a different Utram. Maybe his dad. It's I don't know. Maybe it's not Krang.
I think it's his dad. I really do. And then we go back to present day. Donnie, we knocked out most of the bad guys and found the dude we're looking for. Can we go now? You know what? You make a good point. Sweet. What do you think of the constant red background? Like, I liked it at first, but now it's like...
I think they're in a room with emergency lighting.
Or it could be a bunch of blood. Not that the turtles killed anybody, but... I don't know. Donnie's like, I'll keep Foxy Loxy busy, Mike. You go get the others. Oh, my God. Yeah, you're probably right about the emergency lighting, honestly, because the next panel
it's off and they're in a different room, except for Donnie, who's back there.
Yeah. So, you know, they're all getting away. Yeah, you're right. It is two different things. Casey's gone to get the van. Leo and Raph are going to cover them. Karai says, you can't even block the simplest strike. And it does show, you know, at first it does show his kind of, like you said before, he's not fully trained. Yep. But he knocks her one good blow.
I love that.
The next panel.
That's another beautiful panel.
So back off.
Even the shape of the letters. Her body is in contrapposto, which I'm sure if this were a martial arts film, it'd be one of those they roll in the air before hitting the ground. Brilliant. I must meet this artist, I think.
Yeah, it's simply amazing. April's like, Professor, just get in the van. You'll be safe. But there are turtles. Don't worry, sir. We grow on you. Oh, are you all right? I'm fine. It's not right, Dave. Where's Raph? He should be right behind. Boom! Okay. I didn't want to spoil my theory here, because it really comes into play once we get past City Fall and Northampton, but this is really where it starts. Please do not tell me we're going to have an interspecies relationship between Raphael and Alopex.
You've already read everything.
Yes, I'm not in fear of being spoiled unless, you know... yeah, I've already read everything.
Yeah, okay, I wouldn't have called it until you just said that, and now I'm kind of thinking...
I swear to God, they are... if Leo and Karai are fan fiction fodder for everybody, then Raph and Alopex should be fan fiction fodder for everybody, because I swear to God, what happens later, they should
You've never read the Archie series, have you?
No, I haven't.
There was a character created for the Archie series called Ninjara. I believe she was a fox, but she was a red fox. I believe she was Chinese, and they had a very long relationship. She was basically the fifth Ninja Turtle for about 30 issues. And
anything's better than Venus.
I have a feeling that, now that you say that's where this is headed with Alopex, because the one thing in all of Turtledom that we've discussed and I've thought of, I don't think they have the rights to Ninjara, because she went with the creator, the artist who was on that series of books, to a different publisher, and she had like only 3 issues of her own book before it got canceled and the publisher went away. But it would not surprise me if she's not something they have the rights to.
And the sad thing is, and this isn't about the comic, this is more so about the current cartoon series, the sad thing is, the creator of Usagi Yojimbo basically said, nope, he ain't. Usagi's not coming into the 2012 series. I would love to see an updated version of the rabbit. I really would.
Oh, see, I understand why he's not doing that with this series, because it's not Peter Laird.
Right.
And Peter Laird would treat Usagi with respect, and he'd be the bunny with the scar over his eye and the blue kimono. But I think if Nickelodeon got their hands on him, that it would be some like weird mutated thing like Razor. They would change him to the point where it wouldn't be Usagi anymore. And I think that would be the reason they haven't done it.
Yeah, well, Razor looks better than Dog Pound. So what are you guys waiting for? We gotta get out of here. But Raph, I know my way home, Leo. So go tell Casey to floor it. Oh, that's why it's not the... I almost thought one of the letters was cut off on Kurai's statement here, but I had the mouse over the other arrow. No, leave that one alone. It is the professor the master wants, and the book. So go fetch.
Ooh.
You can...
Which Alopex doesn't like that.
No, Alopex does not.
It's an interesting play here because, Shredder's waning love for Karai is really bothering her, so when she has the opportunity, Karai lifts her legs on all of the subordinates around her. And I think that'll come back to bite her.
Oh my god, the next panel. Jeez. All as I can see, because I'm going to say this now, but it's going to play out in the coming panels here. I can now see a Turtles version of Sons of Anarchy. Oh my god. That would be so fucking awesome. Hey buddy, you're okay? I didn't... What the... You're a monster. Not quite, buddy, but I'm taking your bike anyway. And the guy's running away like a cartoon. Alopex is hunting the van down, and...
Oh, beautiful panels again.
Oh, yeah. I love how they show her breathing very heavily. Huff, 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 huff. I love that. And then the jump. The jump panel is amazing. Now let me ask you here, this what I can only I get confused with Alopex and Kitsune, but her cloak cape thing in the jump scene here, it looks like the Two Tails. It looks like the two, like she has her...
Oh yeah, the Kitsune has those red tufts of hair that are over her shoulders. This looks similar to that, you're right.
Well,
maybe it's a Fox thing.
Maybe. I don't know. Well, what I'm asking is, because Kitsune had three tails or whatever it was, are these cape things supposed to reference something with two other tails for Alopex?
Well, since they're keeping... At least so far in all the comics that I've read up to date, they've kept Kitsune and Alopex separate. Like they're really doing a good job not confusing those two. I would say no, that it just happens to be a cool comic book dynamic way to draw a cape. But
right.
I would not call you wrong for noticing that, no.
Yeah. And Alopex basically punches right through the glass. Talk about the glass shattering. I mean, fox is like, and that's the bottom line, because Alopex said so. We got company. And the way that she is drawn and colored in this series, she looks so vicious. Every single panel we've seen her on to this point, whether it was in the red emergency light hallway or it's so awesome how they draw her here.
And I say this coming off of calling whoever draws Splinter saying he looks like a dog, but dogs are really difficult to draw in comics to make them look like dogs. Anytime you see Crypto in a Superman comic, it's questionable. There are very few representations of Crypto that actually look like, a lab of some variety, but all of these illustrations of Alopex look like a vicious dog, and it's beautiful.
She's not a dog.
She's
a
a
fox.
well, canine of some variety.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. And she says, "Give me the book." I said, "We heard you." Dude, why aren't you whacking her harder? I don't have time to explain Newton's second law right now, Mikey.
I have to ask, have you and I talked about this book in the past week? Because when I read this page either last night or today, I've seen that panel somewhere recently. Did you screen cap it and make a comment on it?
I might have. I gotta go look now because I don't remember, honestly. I might have.
I feel like I've seen this.
I screen capped a bunch of stuff out of this when I was reading it. I screen cap a bunch of stuff out of stuff once I'm in the moment. I'm just trying to see here. I screen capped all the covers. Yep, I did.
Okay, good.
You never commented on it, but I said, "LOL, Mikey and Donnie rule," and it is that we heard you. Is that we heard you panel? But yeah, no, I mean it's oh God, the comedy is so great here. It really is. So Raph to the rescue on the motorcycle. He basically wait, where did he get the damn basket from?
Basket? That's a helmet.
Oh, okay.
I see, because of the loop, it looks like the
when he's
handle to an Easter basket.
When he's swinging it, it looks like an Easter basket, and when it lands on, when it collides with her, it looks like an Easter basket. It's the helmet. Okay, I was gonna say, when did Harley Davidson start putting bicycle baskets on their motorcycles?
That's not a saddlebag. What is that?
It's a saddle basket. And, after Raph basically basically defeats her, "See you later, sweetheart. I'm telling you." They are, I'm telling you. And she is so pissed. And Mikey's like, "Dude, that is so sweet." Picked it up by the foot building.
Another beautiful panel.
Yeah. And this is a beautiful panel because it's the four brothers. It's just them with Raph on the bike and the guys hanging out by the van. And we go to the professor, four turtles, the Foot Clan. It's okay, Dr. Miller. It's all okay now. Guys, we need to get him to a safe place. So where do we take him? The shop? The church? Or, no, Leonardo, it is not wise to bring strangers into our home at this time. No worries, everyone. I know just the place to go. Deep breath, Doc. We'll be there in no time. Casey Jones, the van driver. Splinter does it too. Wow, that's one thing I didn't notice earlier reading this. He also calls him Miller Sensei. Huh. So there's more of that respect. So we get to Splinter says, "We are merely exercising caution." Of course, my God. Wait, let me get this straight. The man in the armor is the same man you know from feudal Japan. You're serious? When I came across rumor about the Foot Clan having the secret to immortality, I assumed they were simply exaggerating properties of a lost medicine. Does the... Mikey, does the Ashy book say anything about how Shredder could have come back, like, as the exact same dude? I see the passage mentioning resurrection. Here. Now, do we find out it's not in this that we find out that Mikey has a certain talent, correct?
Yeah, it happens soon.
Okay, I was gonna say, yeah. The Dragon Warrior is eternal. His thirst for vengeance can never be slacked, and no death can truly hold him. So essentially, sir, what you're telling us is the Shredder is the Dragon Warrior. He's basically unkillable. We go back to Japan again. And Saki shows up. Father, I brought you a present. Masato, Saki, what have you done? I have come to take my revenge, Hiroko Maji. Did you think I would never know the truth? You found Kitsune. She found me after your men failed to kill me. Saki, whatever the witch told you, whatever you think may have happened, everything I have ever done was for you. Stop lying to me. Kitsune showed me who I was, showed me how I was murdered by one of my own. The spirit of Takeshi Tetsu has awakened, Father. Now this is kind of foreshadowing for later. Most definitely. Kitsune showed me who I was, and the I was is in complete bold versus the other part of the word. It's basically telling us what's going to happen later with a certain character. At least that's what I read into.
I'm missing it.
Kitsune showed me who I was, so she brainwashed him.
I don't think she brainwashed him. I think she showed him that he's the reincarnation of Tetsuo.
Right, but the brainwashing will come later with the other character. As far as her powers of showing a certain event.
Yeah, I don't... My interpretation of those two instances, I think, are different. I think the one was, here, remember everything, and then the other one was, I'm going to put these memories in your head.
Yeah, probably.
I don't have a good metaphor for that. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Kitsune likes to show people stuff.
Yeah. So this one ends with the final panel of Saki basically saying, "And pay the price of betraying your lord." And we can only assume that because he does say, "My father is dead" in the opening of the 4th issue.
Yep.
Cut down by... Go ahead.
He says he calls him father when he's bringing the body in that door, but after that he does not. He keeps calling him by name, keeps calling his father by his name, separating him from that relationship, because he's not a Rokosaki anymore. He's Takeshi. By name he's a Rokosaki, but he's drawing those lines. I think that was a neat touch.
Cut down by assassin in the night, he will be avenged. The honor of the Foot Clan will be restored. My condolences, Oroko Saki. I do not require your sympathy, Yamato Yoshi, just your obedience. Obedience? I am to replace my father as Jonin? I hope I said that right.
You did. It's probably pronounced Neen, like with double E's, but you don't need to be that picky.
It's kind of like in the Latin alphabet, Jehovah begins with an I. It's kind of like stepping on the wrong tile and falling to your temple of doom.
Yeah, with the Japanese vowels, I don't think they have short or long ones. I think they're all one or all the other, and I don't know which is which. But I think if we wanted to blend in, it'd be Jonin. Yeah. But Jonin will be gringo-fied for us. We'll take it.
But surely Master Masato would be... Masato is gone. Probably on some ridiculous errand. We cannot wait for him to lead us. I am the next best candidate. All of the Chunin have agreed. Yeah.
I'm sure they have.
Yeah, right. Masato is not... Well, he's gone. He's not on some lame mission. He's gone. Except for you, of course. You have been off seeing to your family. Shall I expect your challenge? No, I will support you in this. All is as it should be, then. I shall restore honor to the Foot Clan, Hamato Yoshi, and ensure no one will ever again dare challenge us. The more you tell me, the more preposterous it all sounds. Look at the side of the door. Scara Bray. This is the bar. Closed for a private party. Did Mikey put that sign there?
Which bar is this?
This is Angel's dad's bar.
Okay. Yeah, we see Casey Jones's dad drinking there at some point.
Yeah. In fact, I've yet to see any proof of things I've been told tonight. What about the fact that you're sitting with a room with reincarnated ninjas? Please, these creatures could simply be talented... mimics. I thought it was an O. Talented mimics that have watched too many kung fu movies. Are you serious? This said, this is where it happens. This says ninjutsu's like as much as part of the spirit as the body, which is cool. And everybody looks stunned. Every single. Why is everybody staring at me like I did something wrong? Seriously, Mikey cannot catch a break. Between the stuff that went down earlier with Woody, and Woody basically saying they can't be buds no more. I mean, I know that's kind of past. We brought that up last time when we did Krang War, but every time that Mikey opens his mouth, like, I expect every time Mikey opens his mouth in the 2012 cartoon series that the guys just look at him like he's done something wrong. But, I mean, look at that panel. Look at that face where it says, why is everybody staring at me like I did something? He just looks so hurt and offended. Mike, that book is written in Japanese. It is? Dude. He couldn't have learned that by watching kung fu movies. No, he could have not. No, he could not have.
Come on, scientist. He could have, actually learned Japanese in the years before you met him. I'll forgive the scientist that. I don't know if that's a comic writing flub or a scientist flub. Well, let's blame it on the scientist. That way we don't have to blame it on the writer.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, it's reincarnation. It totally makes sense. The way I see it, it's just like playing video games. I can be a superhero plumber or a robot pilot in a game, but I'm still myself behind the controls. With this, it's like my soul is playing the game, and it's just switched up between a little kid in Japan and a turtle in New York. Oh my god. They did not just throw in a Mario reference. Robot pilot. Would that be Star Fox?
A robot pilot. I'm assuming like
Metroid?
A mech thing.
Yeah, probably Mech Warrior. Yeah. That analogy came dangerously close to being logical.
One of my favorite moments. This whole panel is one of my favorite moments. Because Mikey realizes now that he can read Japanese. Wait, I just totally realized I can read more manga. Like, yeah, that's a Michelangelo answer.
Yeah. And poor Donnie scratched his head. Sigh. Oh my god, it is so funny. So amazing. I am see, when you first told me about this 4-issue series and the title Secret History of the Foot Clan, I thought it was all just gonna be a flashback. I thought it was all gonna be the 16. I didn't realize that. I know the title is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I thought it was all gonna be dealing with Shredder by himself, like all the Krang stuff.
Yeah.
Unless so far all the Krang stuff, unless it's present day, all the Utrom stuff has nothing to do with the Turtles at this point. And that's what I was kind of expecting here. I wasn't expecting it to mix. Yeah, and I love that it does, though. Because it's so awesome.
Yeah, I need to meet San Toluco after rereading this and loving the art. Hating the bananas, but loving the art. Loving the writing.
The bananas? What are you talking about?
Bandanas.
Oh, the bandanas.
I may have said bananas, and if I did,
Yeah.
let's leave it in.
Like banana. There's no banana in the turtle's tailpipes. Oh boy. And April is like, you look like your mind's been blown. Well, I've been told impossible things all day, but now I've finally seen something, and it gives me hope. The Ashi no Himitsu will be destroyed, Professor. I will not allow Saki to have anything that's so important to him. And Casey's like, hey, you guys might want to look outside.
Oh,
It's coming. Just wait.
this is just...
Yeah. You do know I had to practically beg Brooklyn to clear this place out tonight. If it gets trashed, he's going to kill me. Relax, Case. Unless we take out a wall or something, there's no way he'd notice. Are you certain this is where they are? One of the street punks on our payroll says so. If he's lying, Master, I'll bring you his head.
Crap's gonna go down. Shredder's actually not in his building.
I know.
This is how desperate things have gotten.
Is it sad that I see him as the evil Queen of Hearts when she says, I'll bring you his head? Off with his head! I don't know. I'm weird with my references sometimes. Alice in Wonderland, people. Disney's one true film you should watch while on drugs. Hamato Yoshi, I have come for what is mine. Who is Hamato Yoshi? I once was.
New game, same player, Mikey says from the back.
Let's see. Now this has got Splinter thinking, though. Saki would not have announced his presence unless... I get tired of waiting. Shibata, Takamori, Tamari, come out and face justice. Take the others around back and kill Shibata's family. Aye? Wait! You said Saki never wore the armor before.
No, he did. The scene when, back when he killed Splinter's family, he had the armor on.
No. I'm talking about in this. In his evolution.
Mm-hmm.
You had said that he had never worn the... He was wearing armor when he killed his father, but this is the first time I've seen him...
With the helmet?
Yeah.
Well, he did wear the helmet in that earlier issue. I mean, in the flashback of... But this is the first time we've seen it now.
Right, in the context of his story, yeah. He will not expect an attack while I shout my demands from the front. Simple distraction will draw him to my blade. What is your strategy in killing Shibata's family? It's no less than they deserve, Yoshi. A man's sins fester in his family's blood. That's a nice line. That's a creepy line, but it's a nice line. My sons, defend yourselves. They will come from the back. Look at that. Right on cue. You can't sneak up on us, you easy mooks.
And
that easy, you mooks.
And another beautiful panel.
Another panel that zooms out. Because on this guided view, it's close up on Raph, and then it zooms out to show the rest of the foot people. How did you know? This is not knowing, it is remembering. So we get to more professor stuff. Frankly, Miss O'Neill, I don't care. This is not only one of the most significant historical discoveries of all time, it may hold the secret to immortality, and I won't let that be lost. Now I'm taking this book, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. Sure there isn't. Boom! Wow, she decked him. You hit me. And I will again if I have to. You've got
19-year-old girl. Wonderful. She's probably been hanging around the turtles enough to have figured out how to throw a punch, perhaps.
Or Casey. Considering what wasn't he supposed to be teaching her self-defense classes in the first part of the series?
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. Wait, I surrender. I wish to offer my services. Get in the car and pray that they... Oh, wait, they still have it inside. They want to destroy it, but get in the car and pray that they do not.
I want to know what the writer hears as Shredder's voice, as any of the writers in this series. Who would they pick? How would they modify it? Would they put it through anything, or
I don't know, because there's so much going on with Saki, Shredder, that there are times when I hear the movie voice. Times like when he eventually starts talking about family, this is your family. I am your father.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So Splinter basically is going to surrender himself, supposedly. And we see that he says, Orogasaki, the evil you have caused can never forgive myself for. I should have put a stop to it long ago. You could no more have stopped me then than you can now. Perhaps, Saki, that's because I have never truly tried.
Because they haven't ever had an opportunity to throw down yet.
This image reminds me so much of the fight in Shredder Gets Splintered, when they're fighting over the retro mutagen ray in that fifth part of the 87 cartoons. It reminds me so much of the two of them fighting in the Technodrome.
See, I don't remember them fighting ever in that old series. I totally need to go watch that.
I'll screen cap it for you and put it on Facebook so you can see. Let's see. You cannot beat me, even with your children. You're covering their escape. After them, go! I believe the phrase my sons use in the situation is like this. Gotcha! Come on, load up. Let's go.
You're covering their escape. That panel is great.
Yep.
This is the page with that Alopex drawing that I absolutely adore.
Oh, the evil growl.
Oh, I have seen dogs look like that.
But see, that's
not exaggerated. The dogs do that.
Yeah, no, I know, but she's not a dog. She's a fox. There's a difference, right?
They're both canines, but it's similar. I mean, they're actually. Side note: there's a really cool folks somewhere who are selectively breeding foxes to make them dogs, and when you selectively breed the right behaviors, it also takes a couple of these other characteristics with them. They keep the red fluffy tail, but they get these floppy ears. They're adorable. Anyway, they're similar enough that it's okay that they're probably using a dog reference for that particular picture.
No, I don't have a problem with it. I just thought that they were different animals altogether from each other. So the turtles, they are going to go to... Donnie's like, who knew reading was so popular? Don, you and Mike stay with the book. Casey, get out of here. But Leo, Splinter said to keep that book away from the Foot Clan. So go. Am I the only one who feels completely ineffectual right now? Hang on, maybe there's something we can do to help. 911 emergency? Hello, I just passed the Scarabray Bar on Essex and saw some men in masks attacking this old guy. Please send someone. You're calling the cops on a ninja brawl? You think... Oh, no, that's not the line. Oh, God, I screwed it up. You think calling the cops on a ninja brawl is going to help? Seriously? Shredder's not going to let the police find him. If he's making a break for it, the others should have an easier time of getting away, too. Well, I guess crazier things have worked out. You can just see Casey smiling. He's so proud of April. I will no longer allow you to dictate the terms of our conflict, Orokosaki. My family will end your cycle of destruction. This time we... We will finish this another time. because we hear the booey, booey, the sirens. I love these panels.
Yeah.
I really do. Between Alopex, Raph, Leo, and Karai, and then Leo and Raph, and the black and white. Dude, it so pops on Comixology. It really does. So we go to, go. But Master, what of Karai? She will find her own way back. Now drive. It's like driving Miss Shredder. A few days later. Well, at least we know how Shredder came back to back all himselfy now. He just chugged a bunch of magic potion and conked out till like a great-great-great-grandkid woke him up as an immortal. I guess I thought it'd be harder than that. Is it permanent? Can't we reverse it? Or dunno, dude. I love, again, the five of them in this panel. Is it just me, or does Leo look like April's movie drawing? The one she gave to Danny in the film.
It's not the same pose.
No. I know it's not the same pose, but the lines, the colors, I don't know. It reminds me so much of that movie drawing that April had done. Mikey's going on about the fact there's a lot of pages missing from the book. He says, anyway, this thing is mostly just a boring diary other than the whole bring back Saki part. But that was really just a footnote written by somebody else. Ha ha ha, footnote. We did not find the information we expected, it is true, but we still have learned a great deal. Who Saki was, how he was returned, even the revelation of Michelangelo's talent. This book is a link to Tatsuo Takeshi. Its contents are his thoughts. It reveals his history and much of the history of the Foot Clan itself. It may hold a deeper meaning for Saki that we cannot know, or perhaps it's simply a reminder of the destiny Saki. Of the destiny that Saki is convinced is his. I do not know. But I know I am right to deny Saki a link to his past. And the book is gone. Yay. The Ashi no Himitsu was precious to me, and its loss is disappointing.
Yeah, man, they totally lost that, because they had the book. He had it in his hands. I wonder what was keeping him from being able to read it, that he needed the professor. Because it was just written in Japanese. Mikey figured it out. I'm not going to ask too many questions. I don't want to break it.
Break what? The reveals?
No, I don't want to break my understanding or...
yeah.
I don't want to ruin the story by thinking too hard.
Karai says, I am sorry, Master. Be silent. I had hoped the professor would use the book to find clues as to the final resting place of Kitsune. She was the most powerful of all allies now, and if I have her by my side again. Trust is not in our nature, Professor. Loyalties can shift, and Kitsune was canny enough to know this. She hid herself to sleep away the centuries, and as long past time she was found. So far, all those I have tasked with this have failed. But you won't fail, will you, Professor? I have faith in your resourcefulness, even without the book, to aid you. Succeed, and you will be granted the secret to immortality. Fail, and I will cut out your heart. What is taking so long, Kitsune? I have finally found the key to your permanent immortality, Oroko Saki. Perhaps you could accord me a little patience, and we need only the demon's magic, and... he comes.
I didn't read this page. The first or the second time.
Wow. Here is the agreed upon payment now. Are you prepared for your next assignment? No, demon. Our arrangement is over. Fire! And, what? No, you fool! I have served you over 2 incarnations, demon. and for more than 150 years this has long left a bitter taste in my mouth. Begone. No. Your Iron Demon is undone and his portal destroyed. Now the path is clear. Let us ascend to immortality. They kiss, make up. My preparations are complete. Are you ready? I am. Good. First you must drink this potion. It will be difficult and is far more potent than the one used to extend your life, but do not spare a drop. Next, while the potion begins its work, you must commit
harakiri. Yeah, it's
okay. Suicide.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's in a what is that? It's Charlie Manson made a big deal about that. I think that's a word that he. What am I thinking?
I thought he was talking about Harry Carey.
I don't know what I'm thinking now. I might be mixing that up, but that's okay.
Yeah. You will die, Orokosaki, but you will not be reincarnated. The magic of the demon will bind your spirit to this form for all time. You will be placed in a casket filled with the purest of the demon's fluid, and then our sons will seal your body away, keeping you safe while you are remade.
I can't figure out why this is part of the plan. You know, why not just start ruling immortal now? Why does he need to bake?
I don't know. She says generations will pass and you will sleep, but the magic will heal and strengthen your body and your spirit, and eventually it will be your time to return. Okay, who the hell took the time to paint the giant foot logo on the floor? Where his casket is, that is a giant Foot Clan logo.
That's the modern day one there.
Is it?
Yep.
Still, who took the time, since he was first put to sleep, who the hell took the time in that building to paint the giant Foot Clan logo on the thing? So basically what happens is Karai finds him, basically does a blood oath and spills her blood into the thing. Blood will bring you back again. There will be much pain. But the magic will be complete, and you, Orokosaki, will be the dragon warrior, young and powerful for all time.
Now, see, I saw these panels, but I didn't see the bit where he tossed Krang back through the portal, or miscellaneous Utrum.
Yeah. And then we go, and then, my lord, you will be ready to bring the Foot Clan to the great glory and ready to meet your destiny. Your paths will cross again, or our paths will cross again, Orokosaki, and we will rule all from a city made of light. Because that's what she told him in the original. And that's where we leave off. Now, even on Comixology, the trade, because I bought this. That's the beautiful thing about digital comics and Comixology. You can buy trades on Comixology. So I didn't buy this 4 separate issues. I bought this as the trade. It comes with an art gallery. Dang it! I'll screen cap them for you. I know it's not the same as actually having the actual images, but I'll screen cap them. Let me see here if I can read this properly. There's an image of the turtles fighting the Foot Clan. There is a Eastman drawing of the turtles fighting the Foot Clan. There is Santaluco's foot. It's actually a combination of past and present. The past is Orokosaki, Kitsune, and the foot logo, and the present is the turtles and April fighting. It's basically taking the foot scene from the past and the car chase scene and making a cover out of them, top and bottom.
Yeah, I think these are sounding like the covers that I have.
Yeah, probably are. The next one is done up by C.P. Wilson, the third. It's Orokosaki, and it's basically the 3 forms of him. The Turtles in April with the Ooze, a little bit of the Ooze. They probably are the covers you have. One of the covers is simply amazing. It's done up by Santaluco. It's Krang facing, or a Utram, the metal Utram facing Kitsune and Saki. And then it's the Turtles, Casey, Splinter, and the Professor on the bottom. I mean, these covers are simply, oh wow, some of these are really, really good. I want to screen cap almost all of these for you. You might probably already have them, but I'm still screen capping them anyway, because they are just awesome. Alright, I think we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with final ratings and thoughts and other stuff after this.
Check those dudes out! Dudes, nuts, they're robots! Robots? Let's rock!
Splinter! I'll cut you down, Master!
I must congratulate you.
It's the same guys we fought last night!
You passed your test with flying colors.
Test? What test?
Your hairy little friend knows me as Oroku Saki. But you may call me the Shredder.
A kitchen utensil?
You would be wise to lose your flippant ways if you wish to join the Honorable Foot Clan.
Why should we want to do that?
Alright, folks, there you go. Secret History of the Foot Clan. I love going through these things. I especially love going through them. I know we spent an hour and something. It's probably more than an hour and something on this episode for talking about these 4 issues, but I love going through it on Comixology. It's so good. I'm really coming around, even though I still like to, when I go to read the actual comics, I prefer to read the physical copy. But I mean, reading this, because this was the first Turtles book I read digitally in trade. Mm-hmm. Reading it this way is so much more fun than having to sit there and worry about getting carpal tunnel holding my hand, holding the book in my hand. Honestly, I can sit here with my arm resting on my keyboard rest and just my finger just hitting the hitting the right arrow button. It's like, okay, next panel, next panel, next panel. It's like, it's kind of like playing video games, ladies and gentlemen. Good hand-eye coordination.
As you're reading through this, who's our intended audience? Do you want people listening to this who've never read the books, don't intend to read the books, or I don't, sometimes I feel bad spoiling things, but
well, the way I figure it is, if we're not doing, because the pull bag isn't for current, like, I'm not going to sit here and, next week or the week after, whenever issue 34 comes out, we're not going to sit here and sit down and do it. Mm-hmm. My intention is doing coverage and trades in the pull bag. If the issues have already come out, I still will suggest people go read them for themselves, but if they want to get a feel for what it is, they can listen to us. But I write very poorly written, spoiler-free reviews because I just don't know what to say without actually spoiling anything. I'm not going to sit here for an hour and a half with you, mm-hmm. not spoiling stuff, because that's kind of the point, especially in trade. If this, 4-issue series, when did this originally come out? Was it last year? Uh-huh. If it's a year old, then people need to just go get it themselves. I will say, like I said before, if you want to read it for yourself, we highly recommend it. But no, this is for anybody who wants to get interested in the Turtles and hear our opinions, because outside of a few art things in all the Turtles episodes we've done so far for IDW, I don't think we've said really too many negative things about the actual storytelling. Mm-hmm. It's so damn good. I mean, there's nothing that they haven't done that has made the continuity wonky. There's nothing that they haven't done that makes any of the characters like, that's not how that character should be. That's not how this character should be.
If it can be done with this book, why can't it be done with every other superhero property?
Absolutely. I think where you and I might, I don't know, when we eventually get to Villain Micro Series Part 2, I'm not sure what your I don't want to spoil that. That's one thing I don't want to spoil is our future coverage. But I'm not sure if we're going to both agree on Bebop and Rocksteady. I don't know how that's going to go down, folks. But for Secret History of the Foot Clan, I'm just going to rate it overall as, there were a couple of things with the art that kind of bugged me. Like Shredder's face mask constantly changing color. The fact that he looks like he stuck his head in the sleeve of some woman's red dress half the time, or, you could use that reference, or the fact that it looks like he's wearing a damn Snuggie. One of the worst infomercials ever.
A Jose Canseco bat? Tell me, you didn't pay money for this.
Ooh, that's it. Just do one sale, pal.
Overall, for me, there are a few things with the art that bug me, like Shredder's his constant art color design change with his thing and his, Snuggie thing and all that stuff. Other than that, because of that, I don't think I can give this a full-on perfect for the overall score. But I will give it a 4.5 out of 5, which is almost perfect. There are just a few things about the art. And the bandanas. I mean, come on. Bandanas should not emote. They just shouldn't. Bandanas are not emoticons that you find on Skype or, Yahoo Messenger or any of that crap. What about you? What are you going to rank it?
For this series, I am incredibly... Okay. With the Turtles and the entire history of Turtles that I've been reading the past 2 months, they have always been kind of whatever the person in charge of them wants them to be. This month they're in space and they're fighting dinosaurs, and then in this month it's a weird flashback and the Turtles are monsters and Splinter's not really Splinter and they're fighting some weird ninjas that don't have anything to do with the Foot Clan. And then the next issue they're cartoony and they're fighting rubber chickens. And every Turtles thing is kind of somebody else's thing. My favorite Turtles, my favorite versions of the Turtles are when they go real close to Japan, really close to the dojo, really close to the Japanese language and do that ninja stuff. Mm-hmm. And because this series of issues went right into the heart of Japanese everything, it's incredibly highly rated for me. Definitely a number 5. The interesting thing about this entire series is that they're giving us the Shredder. In the original series, they killed the Shredder in the first issue, and he's not in it anymore. Any other, a person wearing the armor comes back at later times, but it's not the Shredder. And many times in the letters columns, they say, nope, Shredder's not coming back. I know you liked him in the cartoon, but he's not coming back in the comic. And this book really hasn't shied away from making the Shredder an incredible threat, an incredibly rich character, not one-dimensional. He's like, to this issue, we saw him come out of the van in the ghetto. Like, when he hits the ground like that, things are going to go down because it's bad. And I like that they've elevated the Shredder to that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Next time you're going to hear Joe and I talk about this series will be in late July, when we cover City Fall Part 1 and the Villains Micro Series Volume 1. Now, how we're going to do this, and this is one of the reasons why I don't... And thankfully, Bobby Curnow even agrees with you. The reading order sucks for people like me reading in trade. how we're going to do this is we are going to be reading Krang, City Fall Part 1, or no, the prologue, I'm sorry. City Fall, basically, City Fall Part 1 is issues 21 to 24, and then the Villain Micro Series Volume 1 is Krang, Baxter, Alopex, Old Hob, and then Karai's later. But basically, City Fall Part 1 and Micro Series Villains Micro Series Volume 1 is the next time we'll be doing that, and that is looking like it'll be late July, like the 5th week in July. Coming up here in the future on the Pull Bag, we've got coming up next the Underbase crossover with Transformers Windblade issue number 2. And then in July, we've got the IDW Rocky and Bullwinkle 4-issue miniseries coming up. We're finally going to get to the Forever Evil 7-issue miniseries from DC. Some Masters of the Universe, some more Transformers stuff, and like I said, Volume 6 for Turtles and Villains Micro Series Volume 1. So that's what's coming up in the Pull Bag. When's your garage sale?
It already happened.
Oh, dang!
So I don't get to talk it up.
2015.
Well, it hasn't happened for me yet, but it happened for our listeners, I guess you could say. There will be another one at the end of August. I have not decided a date yet, but it will be a Saturday, probably later in August. So
very cool. Very cool. All right, make your great escape into comics, and we will catch you next time.
You've just heard the latest episode of the Pull Bag, the GCRN's comic review and discussion podcast. There are several ways to get in touch with us and leave feedback for the show. You can visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can comment on the episode and all of our different podcasts. You can rate our show on iTunes. Be sure to leave us feedback. Call the voicemail line, 502-526-5821. Please remember to tell us the show you were leaving a message for and your name. Become a fan of us on Facebook by searching Geekcast Radio Network. Send us an email feedback at geekcastradio.com. Follow us on Twitter at geekcastradio. So until next time, make your great escape into comics and unleash the geek in you.